Gaslighting might be described as any manipulative person's favorite tool. It involves engaging in deceptive tactics with the purpose of disorienting, confusing, and misdirecting another person, the manipulator's victim, in order to gain emotional control over them. Gaslighting can lead to feelings of confusion, anxiety, self-doubt, low self-esteem, depression, psychosis, and even suicidal ideation in victims of gaslighting in the most severe cases. This is why it's critical to recognize the signs of manipulation early on in any kind of interpersonal relationship so as to avoid these undesirable outcomes. Hey everybody, welcome to Psychology Element. Today, we're going to take a look at 11 signs that someone is gaslighting to manipulate you. Make sure to watch until number 1. This might be the best indicator that someone is gaslighting you. Number 11, the person is telling you that you are too sensitive. Everyone is disproportionately sensitive from time to time or about certain topics and issues, and it may very well be true that you're more sensitive than an average person in general. However, this doesn't render your judgment worthless. The gaslighter will be more than willing to constantly accuse you of being overly sensitive, not in order to point out a fact about you, but to weaponize your existing or non-existing hypersensitivity to invalidate your opinions, feelings, judgments, and perception. Everyone's judgment can be clouded by their emotional states, but that doesn't automatically negate your ability to realistically and accurately assess a given situation. Make sure to always test reality and not to let anyone use your emotionality as an automatic invalidation of your opinion and perception. Number 10, the person is using intermittent reinforcement on you. Intermittent reinforcement is a term often used by psychologists and other mental health professionals when they talk about narcissistic abuse, manipulation, interpersonal violence, and toxic personalities in general. Intermittent reinforcement in interpersonal relationships refers to the phenomenon where rewards, such as compliments, are given from one person to another at irregular intervals, which results in paradoxically higher attachment of the person to the manipulator than it would be the case were the rewards delivered in a predictable and consistent manner. Some people are susceptible to this kind of reinforcement more than others, and knowledge plays a key role in resisting this kind of psychologically and even physically damaging practice. This means that you should be aware of this phenomenon to not let the gaslighter's occasional niceties and sporadic compliments distract you from the fact that they are engaging in a manipulative tactic. Number 9. The person often engages in deflection. Deflection is a defense mechanism and a tool often used by all kinds of personalities who are prone to manipulation to shift the focus away from themselves and their actions and place that focus on another person's feelings, thoughts, and behavior. This tactic is very similar to blame shifting. You should be very aware of deflection if someone is using it to misdirect you and to distort reality so that their interpretation of that reality fits their agenda. Narcissistic people, and especially covert narcissists, are very prone to using this tactic. For example, if you point out to a narcissist that their selfish and self-centered behavior is hurting you, they may immediately try to change the subject and start talking about your character flaws, when that wasn't even the point of discussion, in order to distract you from the fact that they are unwilling to change their behavior. Number 8, the person is frequently using projection. Projection is a defense mechanism that consists of attributing a person's own undesirable impulses and characteristics to another person in order to protect their own ego. Projection is very much a universal part of almost all narcissistic and other toxic relationships where manipulation is an integral part of interpersonal communication. The gaslighter may start accusing of impulses, feelings, thoughts, and behaviors they themselves are engaging in. For example, they may try to accuse you of being an alcoholic for drinking a beer a day when they themselves are constantly abusing alcohol or other psychoactive substances. They may try to paint you as the abuser in the relationship when they themselves engage in abusive behaviors. We all use projection, but psychologically unstable and manipulative people do it almost all the time. Pay close attention to a person's proneness to projection, because it might reveal a lot about their manipulative tendencies and hidden intents and motivations. Number 7, the person often diminishes your intelligence and memory. If a person is often using derogatory language when they're talking about your intelligence and memory in order to minimize the possibility that your interpretation of events may be accurate, it's very possible that they are trying to gaslight you. This strategy works because people are often very concerned about their cognitive faculties, such as memory and intelligence, So by underestimating yours, they might be trying to prevent you from forming your own judgments and opinions and attempting to instill in you their own version and interpretation of reality. This might just be a rude habit, but it can also be a sign that you are being exposed to someone's web of lies and deception. Number 6, the person is behaving in an erratic way that leaves you feeling confused. Inconsistency in a person's words and behavior can often create confusion as to what they really think and feel. This confusion can be used as a powerful weapon that can leave you in a state of constant disorientation as to how you should communicate with that person. This erratic behavior can be utilized both consciously and subconsciously with the same purpose: to render you psychologically paralyzed and vulnerable, which is a perfect context for gaslighting. Enjoying the video so far? Then don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful psychology videos like this one. You'll only get smarter and it's free. Number 5, the person is trying to isolate you. This point is very often discussed in the context of narcissistic abuse and domestic violence. If a person is trying to isolate you from your friends, family, and other people with whom you have close bonds, it is a serious red flag that the person is sowing the seeds for gaslighting and every other form of manipulation. By isolating you, the manipulative person is essentially removing your support networks and leaving you dependent on them. That way, they can use different strategies to restrict your access to information, emotional resources, and insight that might aid you in breaking free from their deceptive presence. Number 4, the person is turning other people against you. This tactic may be used by the gaslighter to further the process of socially isolating you in order to keep you under their control. They will often weaponize other people's opinions in order to convince you that their version of reality is correct, unlike yours. The gaslighter will then proceed to create tension and discomfort between you and other people, and thus minimize the possibility that anyone would even want to associate with you and possibly help you gain useful insight that would discredit the gaslighter's lies. Number 3, the person is always trying to lower your self-esteem. Gaslighters won't hesitate to use explicit insults and invalidation to lower your confidence and self-esteem. When that happens, they are leaving you vulnerable and programming you to comply with their demands if you are to deserve that the insults stop. At the same time, if you confront them about their attempts to reduce your self-respect and confidence, they will most likely deny that they are insulting you and try to convince you that you are overreacting, even if you are absolutely certain that your reaction is perfectly proportionate to their words and actions. Number 2, the person is frequently questioning your sanity. If you are capable of engaging in productive reality and hypothesis testing and critical thinking to assess the world around you, and yet a person is often labeling you as crazy, insane, or unhinged, you might be targeted by a gaslighter. This is one of the biggest red flags that should be considered as a sign that someone is trying to manipulate you by questioning your sanity without a sound argument. This tactic is one of the most dangerous, since it can paradoxically leave you feeling like you might be going insane and filling you with unfounded self-doubt. Number 1, the person blatantly lies. If you are in any way involved with a person that is a pathological liar, you can almost certainly expect manipulation and gaslighting. This person is lying compulsively, and you can never be certain as to whether what they are saying is true or false. Their constant lies can destabilize you, disturb you, and leave you feeling unable to trust them, even when they are not lying. Since it's impossible to separate truth from falsehood with these kinds of people, it's almost guaranteed that they will attempt to gaslight you, which is why it's nearly impossible to communicate with them in an honest and dignified way. If you happen to encounter this kind of person, it is strongly advised that you be very careful about entering any kind of interpersonal relationship with them. So, this was our countdown of 11 signs someone is gaslighting to manipulate you. Like the video? Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any psychology videos. Also, make sure to check out our Dark Personalities playlist for more. And thanks for watching.